It's the Fighting Couch Potatoes. My name is Liquid Gold. I am joined by MattMatt.
Apparently deaf people like David Bowie.
And Kadawfi Crush.
Ready to take the first step.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topic is Hajime No Ippo. Hajime No Ippo is a boxing anime from the
90s. It was the 90s.
That was the late 80s. And then it was the 90s.
Well, I think...
Well, semantics.
Yeah.
The anime itself was from the 2000s.
But the manga was earlier
In the 80s, 89.
All right. Well, we're talking about Hajime No Ippo. The Dempsey rolling, fucking uppercutting...
I was talking on my ass. It was 2000. 2000 to 2002 was the original.
I like how he came back with my facts. You over here acting like the dude from Pootie Tang.
God damn it.
It's hot out here, boy. It sure is hot.
It sure is hot out here.
And it's hot today, too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, how I found out about Hajime No Ippo was Kadawfi Crush. He showed us RDC.
RDC1.
And that was a great ass fucking how people get beat up in anime.
That was when people take anime too far.
No,
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it's 100%. Because the episode you just mentioned doesn't exist.
Oh. Fact check. But he showed Dempsey Roll. We were like, man, we gotta watch that anime.
Gotta check it out.
We found it on YouTube. If that's just a drop, if anybody wants to maybe look it up.
It's probably not a good idea to advertise that on YouTube. We should probably say that. We watched it on Crunchyroll.
I watched it on YouTube. I watched it on 9anime.to.
We're going to be sued.
Just saying.
Ippo's going to be taken off YouTube. 9anime is going to shut down. Crunchyroll's going to kick us in the dick because I said their name twice.
No one likes
guys,
Crunchyroll.
we got a topic to talk about. We ain't bullshitting. We are going to bullshit throughout the podcast, though, but
it's what we're
going to talk about our favorite parts, our favorite people, favorite moments of this anime. We're not going to get into the timeline. We're not going to get in crazy shit, but we're going to enjoy ourselves, and we're going to show off what we know and what we don't know.
Yep, we're certainly going to show off what we don't know today, guys. That's for certain.
Kadawfi Crush.
That's for certain.
All right, Kadawfi Crush. What made you want to watch Ippo? What made you stay on Ippo?
All right. Well, originally, I had never heard of or seen Ippo, but when I saw that video with RDC1, before I showed it to you guys, I seen a little bit of pictures of the animation style and stuff, and was like, that kind of looks like the Heat, but maybe not. So after I showed you guys the video from RDC, y'all watched it and was like, you gotta fucking watch this show, man. It's gonna be the best fucking show ever. And I'm like, man, I'll get to it. And it took a couple months. But then once I started, oh God.
It was in damn lead. That's what it was for me.
It was like that that.
It was the punching bag.
It was really cool how they took a real nice slow pace for anybody who doesn't understand boxing. They took a real cool pace for sitting there watching him with the leaves, and you're just thinking he's throwing a punch, trying to figure it out, but it's like, no, he's learning how to jab. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that's really nice. They took a lot of time explaining boxing, the rules, how it works, what the physics are, when you rattle somebody's brain and shit. It's not just a big brutish sport, and they really showed off the other side of boxing. I like that a lot about the show.
All right. Thank you, Kadawfi.
Oh, yes, sir.
We'll get back to you on that. MattMatt.
Hi, I'm MattMatt.
Hi, MattMatt. But what made you want to watch Ippo, and what kind of made you stick?
It was the RDC episode. Besides all that, I had seen little snippets from. It's funny. I'd seen snippets from Yakuza. Because when you go in the convenience stores there, you can browse the magazines, and Ippo's face would pop up. And I kind of got curious after I saw the RDC shit, put two and two together, and then ended up watching. I watched a little bit with you, but then I think I finished it myself.
It's almost like
here and there.
Now, Liquid Gold, back to you, man. What is it that made you stick on Ippo?
Well, what made me stick on Ippo was Honestly, like the first, and this is my rule for any anime, you gotta watch the first 3 episodes, and the first 3 episodes it doesn't have to hit hard right off the first 3. But you gotta have like some connection to a character. And just watching Ippo go through life, how he like was helping his mom, just a single mom, with her fishing company. And then going to school and then doing it at night. You can kind of relate to him. Yeah. But then he was getting bullied, which you can relate to him more with.
I mean, I can't.
Well, you didn't get bullied.
That's right.
Well,
never not once.
There's a lot of more
never
people
been punched in the mouth.
Oh no, I've been punched in the mouth. Motherfuckers done tried to bully me,
he
but I
met
fight back.
Takamura and he fucking bandaged him up and he hit the punching bag. That shit was the shit. When he punched that motherfucker hard, he fucking broke the whole paper and then pushed it through the wall.
Now, before we get too far
around a punching bag, it's leather.
It was,
okay.
Motherfucker said paper on a punching bag.
Hold on. No, it was a paper drawing of the bully, but he hit a punching bag.
But yeah, but he split. Didn't he split the punching bag?
No,
he did.
The fuck does he look like, Captain America?
Bro, he split that bag.
No, he fucked his knuckles up.
Yeah, I know he fucked his knuckles up, but didn't he split the bag? Didn't he split the bag?
No.
So I'm sure there was like sand dripping out the bag. Dripping. That's the sand drips. Sand drips.
Yeah, sand drip.
I'm pretty sure. I was just watching it yesterday.
Before we go back, or before we go too far, sorry. Let's go back a little bit about the 3 episode rule. So like, that's what I really like about Ippo. First off, with the 3 episode rule, you have to listen to the intro song of the anime at least once within those 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, I mean the intro
and the intro to fucking Ippo,
hard
fire. The whole shit. Like, I watch it every time.
Like I get up and want to do the Rocky and shit.
When they changed it, I was kind of mad, but they kind of came back with the second.
The second one was okay. The outro for the second one was not
very ugly.
No, I thought the the middle of the show was good too.
Yeah,
the first and the second one.
But what's really cool about Ippo, we were talking about this earlier. We was refreshing on some episodes.
Well,
was like, shut the fuck up.
Nah,
anyway,
you're
was like,
dick. I'll snitch on you.
Any fucking way. So, the 3 episode rule. That's what I kind of like about Ippo is the pacing of each episode. It's like, yeah, they're 20 minutes long, but they pack a lot of shit into those 20 minutes.
Yeah, it feels like a 45-minute long episode.
Really, every single episode. Like some is filler, but you have filler with everything. But what's cool about Ippo is like with the with his final fight in the anime so far, with the dude who took a swing at Kumi, Mashiba's sister.
Mm-hmm.
That was a filler episode. He was just out and about doing his thing at the mall, and the show was reminding you, hey, this is still a fucking thing. We're not just gone from that right now.
Well, it's kind of what a filler episode is.
I've always kind of wondered, like, what a filler episode, like, really means. Because, like, all right, so there's some shows out there that are just, like, it's filler. Like, just stupid shit. But, like...
One Piece.
Naruto.
Cough. Dragon Ball.
Well, see, that's that thing. That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because just like with Ippo, and I feel like with Dragon Ball and with Yu Yu Hakusho, like the filler parts matter to the story,
right?
And they matter deeply to the story as well. Like it's how you tell most of it. Like I feel like a filler is something that doesn't matter to the story. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about like something that like if
beach episode.
like if this episode was taken out.
No, the beach episode.
The beach episode,
exactly.
Right?
That's what we're saying.
But no, I think we're saying two different things. We might be on the same page. I don't know, but let's try this. An episode that if it were taken away, it wouldn't change the story one bit. You wouldn't be confused from one episode to the next. You'd just be like, okay, that just didn't fucking matter. Like kind of like watching like the Rugrats, how like each episode doesn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. But imagine that there was like a overarching narrative that was supposed to go on, and it's like those are just a bunch of filler episodes. Mm-hmm. The episodes where that narrative isn't being met or touched. That's how I feel about it.
I really didn't.
Like Mr. Poopy Butthole and Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
he's always been around.
Yeah, apparently.
I think Ippo didn't really have any filler episodes.
It didn't.
If it was, it'd be like 1 or 2% of the whole thing. Like, it was.
I mean, maybe like filler moments. but like feel like all right, maybe a filler episode in Ippo would be the episode with Aoki and Kimura when they were growing up. Like
No, that was
flashback.
it was a flashback for them, but like if that episode had been taken away, who would have given a fuck?
But,
Hold on, man.
but I like Aoki and Kimura.
You like Aoki and Kimura, but if that episode were taken away, would that have taken anything from Aoki and Kimura, like in the ring or in the gym? They would have been the same two fucking characters from the giddy up.
No, but the characters wouldn't have been as deep.
Right. They wouldn't have been as deep.
Because,
I feel like that was kind of a filler episode.
You can still they're still friends in the, like, you can still see at the beginning or like in the middle of Ippo, they're still friends. They're still they did the same exact thing when they were younger, except Aoki and Kimura didn't know Takamura beforehand. But yeah, you could take them away, but I still feel like it deepens the story.
Well, I mean, I think it deepens their personal story, but I don't think it deepens the overall arc of.
We're not going to talk about Takamura, how he used to wrestle people because he couldn't swing.
Okay,
he couldn't throw hands.
So I didn't think it touched the arc of like what we're doing with Ippo. Like the Takamura and Aoki backstory doesn't matter to the overall show.
Yeah,
and doesn't matter to and I feel like maybe that's a filler, but like you said earlier, like that's like 2% of the show to get little things like that from people.
Yeah.
Do you count as let's ask a question. Do you believe Kamigawa's flashback?
Hell no.
I feel like that was a bonus.
That was
bonus?
that was awesome
because that was the end of the end of the show, the end of the arc, and just a quick little bonus for this is who Kamigawa really is.
Well, that's
2 bomb bonuses.
Oh my god.
All right,
We thought Anderson died.
we're getting too far because people don't even know who Kamigawa is.
We don't have to do this in order. Like, there's some of the good moments in the show. Like, I've really enjoyed watching this show. Like, this is quite honestly the only show that has ever got me on my feet yelling at my TV screen.
Yeah.
And like
it's one of a few for me, but yeah, I feel you. Like, this one had me yelling like I was watching Roy Jones Jr. fighting, and I was like, I was shit.
it had to be like my favorite like oh shit moment, like yelling at the screen had to have been Takamura's look away when he was trying to do Aoki's. Because what's cool about Aoki's look away was it captured me too with like, what the fuck is he looking at? And then, someone got boxed.
Well,
with Takamura, it was like we knew what the fuck was going on. So as soon as he drops his guard and look away, I'm up on my fucking feet like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
And
Aoki
almost paid for it too.
Hey, I kind of wish he'd got knocked out over that shit.
No.
Aoki is fighting low-level boxers.
Aoki's stupid and it works.
And the second thing is, he only glimpsed. He didn't fucking
turn his whole body.
Like he glimpsed. He just looked away for a second.
It's a look away. Not a turn away.
Takamura said, "I'm gonna take it a step further. Turn the fuck around.
Turn it all the way around."
What are you doing?
Some of the cool things I liked about Ippo a lot were how if you knew nothing about boxing, or if you knew a little bit about boxing, you could jump into this show and start watching from the beginning and watch this epic journey this kid takes from being a fucking loser getting his ass kicked by nobodies to becoming the Japanese featherweight champion and eventually fighting for a world title, doesn't he?
No, it's Pacific.
He doesn't make it.
That's right. The Pacific title. That's right.
And I mean, still going on, people.
Apparently, the manga is still rolling. I haven't checked into it, but some of the cool things I like are like when you watch Ippo start to train. And then most people know that Ippo has a super special move called the Dempsey roll. For him in anime, it's just like this fucking chaotic. Not even a chaotic, just a
Kamehameha.
I mean, for Ippo, yeah,
yes.
it's a serious combo.
But he didn't get it off the rip though.
And that's what I was just about to get into. Thank you, Steve. I believe from watching the show that the first time you even see him start to begin the Dempsey roll is when he fights Jason Asuma, which is, if anybody's ever seen the show, it's the black guy. The black guy.
The real nice American
Air Force pilot black guy adopted by Japanese family. that guy.
Coolest guy in the world.
He's super cool.
He bakes cookies and Christmas and fucking boxes people in the face.
And could break your jaw, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's very imposing figure for Ippo to be going up against. And I think the reason why he started is because Asuma had a bit of height on him. Had a little bit of height or length on him, and Ippo needed to learn how to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he started doing the dodging.
He starts doing some type of he starts doing dodging with some type of what do you call it? What are those poles called? Those little they're not
monkey bars.
quite monkey bars, but they're like these poles that you have at playground. We used to have them at playgrounds. Playgrounds ain't as dangerous no more.
I still feel like it's monkey bars, but it's like short monkey bars.
They're like something like that. You could swing on them or whatever.
I guess.
Yeah.
He did it because of how he was still tall.
He was trying to get underneath his hook.
He was trying to get underneath the hook.
That powerful hook.
That powerful hook. And Ippo wanted to get underneath it. And like that's like the beginning of, well, quite frankly, Ippo's nastiest combo that ends with the Dempsey roll.
The body blow to the gazelle punch to the fucking
Dempsey roll.
Gosh.
All right. So like you were talking about Jason Asuma.
Asuma.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I feel the same way about Ippo with he started out from nothing. Like he did Operation Turtle Shell, and people, when we say all he did was block, that's all he did.
All he did was block.
For a sparring match, he got beat up and blocked. He learned how to jab. My favorite part at the beginning was when he learned how to do an uppercut. He literally did not want to stop doing that uppercut. And
Slice the wind, they say he did.
and that body blow he has. Oh, I would never ever ever want to get
kidney hit.
I would never want to get hit with one of those, even with his size. I would die.
Well, that was the thing about him being a featherweight, was he was still hammering people.
He was jacked for a heavyweight. For a featherweight.
If he was a real boxer, I think he could probably go in featherweight, but he could probably go into. And there's a lot more boxing weight classes than UFC, so I would guess somewhere in like lightweight. Not
the lightweight's up too
not
high.
Anything higher than middleweight, because I don't think you could fight against Takamura.
Right.
Long term, I think you could fight him in later seasons, but not long term. Fighting the same person that kind of fights Takamura.
I think the kid was at the perfect weight because like he hardly had to ever cut any weight either.
He maintained.
Yeah, he just kind of maintained what he. I think he was at the perfect weight, and I mean for his stocky build, and like we mentioned earlier, he worked on a fishing charter with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Already had good legs and feet.
Had the sea legs.
He had super strength from lifting the ice packs and the bait and the
generators and everything.
Loading up these boats for his mother.
He was as they call country strong already.
Oh yeah.
And then he was just, and then he went to the boxing gym and they refined him.
Yeah.
But he already had the power. He just had to get refined into a fine-tuned machine.
Oh, yeah.
And he did.
And build cardio. And start running.
And real talk, if you ever look at his mom, you don't see a lot of moms in anime like this, but she was jacked. Miss Makino Uchi was jacked.
Nah.
She had mega arms. Go back and look at Miss Makino Uchi. That chick is like the dude when the dude that used to whoop his ass starts working for the fishing company.
Yeah.
Bro, she's bigger than him. She is ripped. Like you don't see a lot of moms like that in anything.
All right, guys.
Ladies and guys.
No,
and
it's ladies. When I say Mashiba, what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
Eyebrows.
Flicker.
I feel a flicker, but I see the eyebrows. Those scary ass eyes, man.
He's not even a bad guy.
He's not.
Man, that's what I really like. Another thing that's cool about the show is like, every time you see like a fighting anime or you see something where it's like competition, usually besides protagonists, the people are dicks. Everyone's out there doing like, mind you, not every single person is a good person.
In Ippo.
But a lot of them that he fights is like they're respectful. They're here for the same reason he is.
No, there's some people that are.
There are some people. And what the fuck happens to him?
Brian
Smashed.
Mashiba was a dick.
Mashiba was not a dick.
He was a dick in the beginning.
Because he was trying to make money to help his sister.
You ain't got to be a dick. That's why he wound up on his face.
But hold on. He wasn't. Well, he was kind of a delinquent outside of the ring, but he was more of a dick in the ring just to win.
Well, that's because he had a scary face.
He had a very scary face. I mean, he knew he was
flicker jabs were fucking the shit.
He had that southpaw stance. No, he wasn't southpaw. He did an orthodox stance with the left hand forward, and he himself was a lefty.
That sound
Oh, you slice.
Sound like a scythe up in this bitch about to fucking cut your head off.
But I mean, you know, Ippo whooped his ass and then got revenge on him and started smashing his sister.
He got
He didn't smash his sister. Even at the end of the
Evo
show,
wasn't
ladies,
thinking about it. His sister was thinking about it
All the time.
all the time. Didn't even notice him at first. Like, it's really cool.
I just
Back to the thing, it's like
his face when he got around her, his face turned into that damn weird shit.
That-
Then he sniffed when his nose got real big and shit.
yeah. But what's
was
really
like,
cool
"What the
about
fuck
the
you
show
doing?"
is like even the side characters matter. Like the like we keep talking about Takamura, a fucking monster of a man.
Okay, all right. There is side characters that matter, but Takamura and Kamigawa is really the biggest side characters because they have.
You got Kimura and you got Aoki, you got Miyata.
Do they have the growth? Like
I mean, if
Takamura?
y'all want to talk about side characters, best side character in the whole show is Mr. Fuji, the reporter for the Boxing Monthly magazine.
Yeah.
he is good.
Dude is like the best. He is like the slickest, the smoothest.
I think he has his own anime. We're missing it.
He's come in clutch when Ippo needed fight footage and couldn't nobody get fight footage. Who showed up with it? Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji.
Who put Ippo's face on the map? Mr. Fuji. I mean, come on, bro. Who has been there, Ippo's meat man, this whole time?
Well, because he picked the ringer. Takamura.
I mean, like nobody wanted to believe Takamura either. When Takamura was like, "Yo, this dude right here, he's gonna be the truth."
Come on, man! He pulled that ringer out. Like he really did get the golden ticket.
I mean, he did.
Shit.
He did get
Because like that kid, like might not have been great at the beginning, but like, come on,
I
man.
mean, they refined that sword. That's for sure.
And that sword broke and got refined again. And they got broke.
It got broke. It got broke.
They got
And Ippo ain't invincible like a lot of other main characters. Ippo has taken his losses.
In the show, just won. And that was against Date, but he never should have been in that fight because Date was a veteran at that time.
No, he absolutely needed to have been in that
Well,
fight.
he needed it, but he wasn't ready for that fight.
Exactly, and that's why he needed that fight. Like, mind you, for a normal up-and-comer like Ippo, you doing knockout after knockout after knockout. What is it? 8, 9 fucking knockouts solid?
You're going to get challenged. They're going to get you a challenge.
On decently leveled opponents. I mean, the next step for him was the champion, but I mean...
Because that's when he already fought Sendo once.
Fucking Sin.
Hold on,
Rocky.
We're gonna
Rocky.
Hold on,
Rocky.
stop that. Because I feel like Date is actually a great side character. I think
it is.
It wasn't,
all of them are.
He was the tip. He wasn't the typical boxer, but he was a typical veteran boxer.
Right.
That
Not the typical boxer,
but the typical
veteran boxer.
Because there is a typical boxer in this show that I really don't like. But Date showed respect. He wanted to win the title again, and he said, "I gotta go through you, man." And Ippo took the challenge, and he lost. But I think that showed Ippo that you're not gonna win all of them. You gotta get better, and that man was just a better fighter.
I mean, there's levels to this shit, you know. And Ippo just was not of par at the moment. You know,
I feel like if he would have got a little bit better, I don't even think the Dempsey roll would have beat Date.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about all that.
I mean, the heart stopper punch was pretty nice and all, but
that was nice.
I don't know, but I think that, yeah. So, But anyway, with Date, I think again, kind of going back to that filler episode kind of thing. Date, when he had his real championship fight against who was it, Gomez?
Yeah.
When Gomez got on his ass, he went in, and I mean, like, this fight, I think, also touched Ippo's arc as well. Like, I know it was kind of like an episode where Ippo wasn't really in the show for real. He was kind of in the crowd and shit. But, I mean, like, to have watched somebody who just cut your ass get up there and get served, I mean, I think that really showed Ippo was like, oh, shit, I'm at the bottom floor of the Empire State Building. I got to tighten up.
Never got his rematch over it. That's another thing about the show. Is like, they don't give you the rematches you want to get. Like Miyata. Miyata's the whole reason that Ippo's really, like, he went through the rookie tournament.
We got the rematches we wanted, though.
But the
we
show,
did Sendo,
but
but
the
not
show
Miyata.
but the show ends way before the manga does. I mean, Ippo's 19 or 20 by the time the show ends. as a professional boxer, he has like another 10 years or so left to go on his, if not more.
But I don't know. I think
On
Monkey,
his-
he got like retired quickly because he got punched drunk.
He retires
Oh,
twice.
I never read the manga. I've only ever seen the anime.
I want to watch the anime too, but that's just how they say it on certain sites. Because I've never watched it.
Well, what I was
I'm about to end up reading it.
Well,
Fuck.
what I was getting at was is we're only really taking place in 3 years of Ippo's boxing career, and I mean to say he never got the rematch via just anime. I mean, he's got plenty of time left to get that rematch.
I feel like
There's
I'm talking just anime. He never got the rematch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the anime, like you can make an argument that there would be plenty of time because we stopped so early in his career where the show stops versus where the rest of his career goes. And I like to imagine he beat the shit out of Miyata one more time.
He probably did.
I like to imagine that he tightens Miyata's ass up one more time.
So talking about like all my last parts of filler for Ippo, and I really don't think it's filler. Do you think any of the beach episodes, you guys, were
Well,
filler?
the training camps and shit like that? Fuck no.
Nah,
Takamura
no.
knocked out a bear during one of those fucking episodes.
I mean,
But hold on, I said beach episodes. I didn't say mountain episodes.
I was talking about
difference.
training.
I think the beach episode kind of also takes on part of Ippo's growth as an arc. Much like with how the show starts with him boxing, very slowly, very, very casually understanding it, that's kind of how he takes his relationship with Kumi Mashiba. You know, like it's just he sees her a couple times, and like when he eventually talks to her finally, he's awkward as shit. Even when
She's a creep.
when she gives him the tracksuit, we just watched that episode or movie or whatever the fuck.
It was the movie, yeah.
You know, he was still just like, oh shit, oh,
Yeah.
you know, and like it's kind of cute that you know someone like him who could step out. I mean,
Ippo's a chick magnet for no reason.
We see at a moment where the girls are fighting over him. What is it? Itagaki's sister, fucking Kumi. They're fighting over
yeah.
him. You know,
And then what was it, the masseuse or whatever?
No.
Not the masseuse. That was the
newspaper lady.
was it the newspaper?
Yeah, it was the reporter.
or the
It was-
sports medicine lady.
I think all of them, honestly.
It might have been.
There
all
was
of them.
three.
Because hold on.
Well, because one of them stopped the girls from fighting. It
was the mom.
wasn't the mom. One of
Yeah,
the,
it was 'cause-
one of the other women came in and stopped the girls from fighting because Ippo was beat the fuck up.
It was the mom.
Was it the mom?
It was the mom. Because all three, it was Itagaki's sister, the reporter, and then I think Kumi. Because the sports medicine lady didn't really come around like that. She was really only there for like at the beginning and then giving them meds throughout the show.
She was fire. I wish she was in the
Yeah,
whole
she
show.
was.
I wish she was in the whole show.
The reporter was fire too.
I think it was a reporter. 100%.
Because I know Itagaki's sister
Kumi's still
and Kumi
best.
and Kumi.
Kumi's
Yeah,
Right.
Kumi's still the one he's going to go after.
Oh yeah, I mean Kumi was awesome. I mean
She wasn't a Kozaway like in Baki.
Yeah, I felt the same
Why
way.
is everybody fighting? Bitch, because it's what we like to do.
She wasn't a Chi-Chi. She wasn't a
No,
Kozaway.
no, oh,
no.
I'm listening.
Chi-Chi was a fighter. Then she became a mom.
until she had a baby.
Then
But
she had a
hold on.
baby.
As soon as she
When
had a baby,
when she had goat tip,
she was killing the set.
This is
on that
another
fight.
discussion for another day, y'all.
She was killing the set. Oh, Kozaway ass Chi-Chi. Sorry, bruh. She killed the set so many times.
All right.
Gohan could be a monster right now.
Shut up. It's not the Dragon Ball right now.
All right. I want to talk to you guys about my favorite part of the fight, because I feel like it wasn't actually an ending of the fight.
Of what fight?
Sendo versus Ippo.
First or
The
second
first
time?
one.
The first?
That's why I say it's part. I feel like there's never an end to that first fight because
They had to call it.
that moment where he was looking at Ippo across the ring,
Unconscious.
That literally brought chills to me. I was
Bruh,
like,
Sendo
"Jeez."
was half dead. The fuck you mean that
No.
in the fight?
That temple shot was the shit.
Well, no, so
The Tiger of Naniwa was done. He was done. All right.
They nicknamed him Rocky, not from Rocky Balboa. Rocky
Marciano? Yeah, but he didn't live up to that name now, did he?
no.
He did not.
Well, no, he
was
became
is
champion for a
Marciano,
while.
undefeated.
That don't mean shit. You know what Rocky Marciano's record was?
Undefeated.
Undefeated. And like, I mean, it wasn't just like 20 fights either. I think he had something like 50, 60 fights. That's back when boxers used to fucking box.
Every
Like,
day.
Well, I mean,
That's
Every
right.
all day.
Every
Eat, sleep, and
I mean,
drink it.
you know, at least 4 fights a
But,
year.
man, okay, all right. So probably the first Sendo fight I thought was great. I thought it showed that Sendo had a little bit more than Ippo, but Ippo had the willpower to
perseverance,
defeat and perseverance because Sendo was because that was right after Ippo broke his hand with Mashiba with the
elbow.
The elbow.
Yeah.
That fucking elbow. Mashiba is a cool guy, but he had to be a cool guy after the fight. Well,
yeah, because he was fighting dirty when he first showed up. But Ippo humbled his fucking ass.
He had broken hand. He had a broken right hand. That's his power hand. He had to fight against Sendo, who's a power in fighter anyway. Had the smash. That shit was nice. That shit was nice.
He used to bend his back.
I don't know if it was the first fight or the second fight they fought, but that fucking move or that part of the whole fight where he came from the ground and
with that uppercut.
Oh my god,
bro! I mean, like Sendo turned his back into a wild, wacky, arm flailing, inflatable tube man, and he bends himself all the way back over, and then just comes up with some vicious shit you never see coming,
like Steve from Tekken.
Like Steve.
Like fuck it. Who is it? Who was Brian Hawk? Remember Brian Hawk used to do he would duck down and then he'd hit the uppercut against Takamura.
He'd do the Mortal Kombat uppercut.
I hated that man.
The Mortal Kombat uppercut.
Hey, he got his ass beat the fuck up.
No, there's one person that got beat the fuck up in the whole series. The whole anime series. You guys can't talk to me any different. It was as soon as Ippo learned the Dempsey roll.
Oh my god!
And fought that Thai kid.
Oh my god!
Guess what I can do,
bro?
Look what I can do.
And that's the best part. He was like, yeah, that Thai kid. That's his name. That Thai kid.
I'm sorry.
Ippo took his name from him, bro. He kicked his ass and took his name. Oh man, yeah, that was vicious.
Well, that's another thing that's cool about that because like he learned the body shot and the gazelle punch from Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Right? From training. But he figured out the Dempsey roll by himself.
Well, and Kadawfi kind of brought this to me. He did throughout the series, and he
was figuring it out.
Kamigawa, this is something that Kamigawa did all the time. He would give Ippo just enough information for him to figure, like when he taught him how to shadow box.
Right.
When he was like, hey, get out there and shadow box, I'll be back tomorrow. And Ippo was like, what the fuck am I doing? And he had to watch and learn. And I mean, Kamigawa and Takamura sat there and watched him behind his back until he finally figured out how to capture Miata Shadow and learn how to shadow box. We were watching an episode earlier today where Ippo was figuring out his own fight plan. And Kamigawa would just let Ippo learn shit on his own and then refine him. As he got there, he just sharpened that blade down. Like, here you go. This is how you really do it.
But that's what was funny about the Dempsey roll is like when he was about to do that shit to the TIE fighter, because like even before Fist started flying, Kamigawa's sitting there like, that's the Dempsey roll. Oh God, that's the Dempsey.
No, you didn't hear the thumping sounds.
You did.
You heard the jet engine before any of that.
No, you heard the jet engine. Like, what is Con Air coming by here?
So I gotta be honest with you guys. I think Ippo's like earliest best fight, and this is like I think before Date is Speedstar, Saki Speedstar.
Yeah,
the man
where his eyes swell up and
because come on, man, like Ippo had to grow from that. Like, come on, you can't.
Oh yeah.
You had to, he had to think that he's moving always to my right side because my right side's blocked. I'm gonna have to start throwing something to jump.
Well, he was before the fight. He was trying to figure out a way.
His speed.
He was trying to counter his moving around because he said, "I'm gonna turn clockwise and keep throwing hooks or body shots," which was a counter to what the Speedstar shit was.
Because he was backing off.
But when he got into the ring with him, he realized he wasn't going to be able to touch him anyway, and then his eye got swollen up, and he started moving to his blind spot, so he had to think outside the box by thankfully falling over on him before the end of the round timer. And then finally was like, you know what? If he's in my blind spot, he's probably going to stay in the same place each time where I can't see him.
Right. And that was kind of almost like some complex math Ippo did too, because, excuse me, because he, earlier in the fight, he learned that Speedstar was staying a certain distance from him the whole time. So it's like Ippo was gauging his range the whole time. And like he kind of, when he fell over on the guy is when he finally was able to put the whole story together. He was like, all right, I know how this puzzle works now.
Because his first tactic was to stay there, do the hooks, but he couldn't do that. Mm-hmm. So he went to his...
Way too fast for you.
Right. He kind of improvised and kind of got it right.
Yeah. One of my favorite fights from Ippo, probably not a very popular one, but mine's a favorite fight for a different reason, is when he fought Yusuke Oda, the guy who was going to lose his girlfriend.
The shotgun man.
That dude, well, no, not the shotgun dude. This guy only used his right hand. He believed that he wouldn't listen to his coach.
Yeah,
he was
lazy.
He was a lazy fucking orthodox boxer with a good right hand. I think he had knocked out 3 opponents with a right hook.
But even the coach was like, man, he got lucky with them shots.
Right, and the coach was like, look, man, you gotta tighten up. And I like to see that because, like, okay, you like to believe that every boxer who comes to the ring or every fighter who ever shows up to the arena is always on top of his game. And someone like Yusuke Oda was a bullshit artist. He was just he was beating up on low-level boxers, thought he was amazing, and was dating the coach's daughter. Dumbass. And was dating the coach's daughter. So, like, the coach ended up taking the daughter away from him.
She left because she knew.
No, they were hanging out, and the coach showed up at the restaurant they were at because he was supposed to be at the gym. But dude skipped out in the gym to go on a date with homeboy's daughter. He came up, made a big fucking scene, and was like, "You ain't seeing this bitch until you get your ass in shape." Took the guy a little bit longer. I think old girl was kind of like, "All right, you kind of, you kind of a loser." And then he went to the gym and got swole. Yeah. He went to the gym and got ready to beat Ippo's ass. Well, he got fucked up. I think he lost like in the second round or some shit. He got his ass beat up, and then I think he ended up losing this girl. But I think he ended up. I know he ended up staying boxing. The gym. The coach was getting ready to throw him out of the gym, but he ended up keeping him after the dude had showed.
No, the girl came back.
I don't know if she stayed or not.
I think so.
But,
all I know is that
it was
at the very end, the coach still let him, even if he lost.
And it was awesome because it was like to see that, okay, just because the other guy in the ring is my opponent doesn't mean he doesn't have something to fight for too.
Right, what I was saying earlier.
Right, doesn't mean he doesn't have a heart.
Volg. Volg. Oh, I love Volg.
Alexander Volg Zangief.
Ippo had to beat him, and then he got thrown back to Russia.
He did send his ass back to Russia, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, he came back to fight Sendo one time for the one time.
Sendo.
Well, then Sendo sent his ass packing back. He should have been training with Jack Hanma.
That white fan. Shit. When you saw that shit, because to me it always reminded me of, and because I played Tekken first, was Steve's over under where he goes up and then he goes down.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
But it kind of no.
Well,
in the show, it's kind of like he says it. Well,
it looks like a chomp, but
he's doing this
right. They're trying to say he's moving so fast it looks like a chomp. Like by the time the uppercut hits, the fucking overhand is already in your face.
The overhand's leading you into that. He's hitting you with the like.
And it's like by the time it all hits, it's like you don't even feel 2 hits. You feel 1 blow. And then your head,
what the fuck was that?
Right, then your whole brain is rocked. I think Volg was pretty cool too, especially how he was doing this for his sister. You know, kind of like Mashiba.
No, he did it for his mom.
Same person.
He did it for his mom.
That's not how that works.
Same person. I'm my own grandpa. Same person.
Philip J. Fry. Shut up and take my money.
But yeah, for his mom was sick and he needed the medicine or whatever. And he had a tough life too, fighting wolves and shit as a kid. But I mean, apparently most Russians do that. They fight
riding bears.
Yeah. Apparently that's just something they go through. But
hold on, guys. Talking about bears.
Oh my god.
And mountains.
Uh-oh.
So, guys,
the mountain training arc.
Mountain training arc. Yeah, we can just say it like that. How Ippo got a bigger back, and Takamura fought a bear. And I'm
Takamura fought a bear. No. It wasn't a Yujiro Hanma like let me hit this bear 3 times.
No,
it was a go down.
I mean, he threw a 900 hit combo.
And
it was true. Straight to the forehead of the bear.
Like, this bear better die or get knocked out because I don't know if I'm gonna survive this.
I mean, yeah, he fought with everything he had. I mean, I don't know too many people out here whooping up on a bear's ass.
And then the trainer finds
that's the fucked up part too. Yeah, because he left it because he knocked it out and was like he saw the cubs that it had and was like, I'm gonna leave you for the cubs and you'll be okay. And it's like walks away. And then later that night, the trainer comes in and serves him a meal, and Takamura's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's bear. I found one passed out in the woods."
Takamura cried like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, but he had the meanest looking scars and the pelt to match.
He's sitting there
because he went back. He went back to Japan, like fucking where he was at.
He hadn't left Japan.
Yeah,
He
they were
didn't
still
left
in
Japan,
Japan.
but he went to the mountains of Japan. He came back.
I feel like he was eating bear, just.
Crying
I'm
like,
sorry,
delicious.
it was good.
Delicious. Very delicious.
He literally told everybody, he said, "You better eat this shit because we're not wasting it."
We're not. Wait, you goddamn.
But he got the pelt, he got the scars, and he looked like an actual wild man.
I mean,
no one believed him. No one believed
He
him.
came back for that next fight looking like a savage. Like, dude, I was afraid of Takamura, and he was on TV. He's a cartoon character.
I gotta be honest with you guys, though. His worst fight, and we can talk about his best fight because there's some good fights, but his worst fight for me was David Eagle.
Is that when he cut weight wrong?
No, because he cut weight and he fought. No, the only time he cut weight wrong was when he fought, like at the very beginning, when he was eating that apple.
And he was
And
like, he was like mad skinny. Like he was flimsy looking when he got out there.
He was doing welter and then he went to middle, or like light middle and then went to middleweight.
Somewhere in that ballpark. He cut his weight wrong is what he did do, and he came out looking flimsy.
I still believe David Eagle because he's the typical boxer I was talking about.
Right.
And he was like, was he the one? And I'm really thinking it was either David Eagle or Brian Hawk that put himself in the ropes. But I know that David Eagle would clinch him and then hit him with the jab, and then clinch him and then hit him with the jab.
I'm not sure which one of them did it. They were one of them was an asshole and one of them wasn't. I remember
David
that.
Eagle outside the ring, great guy. David Eagle inside the ring, suck ass.
One of them was an asshole both ways. It might have been Hawk. It might have been Brian Hawk. 'Cause I think David Eagle was the nice guy, the last Takamura fight.
Yeah, Brian Hawk was the asshole in and outside the ring.
Yeah, I didn't like it because he was like talking about the Japanese women and he was just being real vulgar.
And he punched
He was making
Kamigawa.
and he punched
That
Kawagawa.
pissed Takamura off.
Takamura wanted to fucking kill him.
Hell, speaking of Kawagawa again, as a great trainer that he is, what about that slap to the back? What about that?
That would determine anybody. Anybody.
Kawagawa has this this slap to the back when when his fighters need that extra bit of oomph to get their asses in that ring. He just gives them this big red-handed fucking just bruise on their back immediately. I mean, it straightens them up, wakes them up, turns on all the systems. it's like kicking your computer one time and everything starts working.
I think he's
smacking the side of the box TV.
I think he's still a great trainer though. Even he's a great second. He's an amazing second.
yeah.
But like that slap is the shit.
I mean, he's got all the tricks that dude pulls out when Ippo's all fucked up in the ring. He's like,
Phenomenal fighter back in the day.
oh yeah,
Because he was fighting.
I think he was better mind than he was a fighter, but that's what a trainer is.
yeah, absolutely.
He was fighting back in the day after World War II, when the Americans were quote unquote helping the Japanese by occupying Japan. Anyway,
Hey, Brian getting into all that.
any fucking way. So he had to fight after his buddy had fought because they were fighting over some girl. He had to fight an American soldier who was like, I've got the best abs in the army. No one can beat me with a body shot. 2 hits.
Okay, wait,
Absolute massive hits.
You gotta
After,
explain-
but now here's how we got to the 2 hits. Here's how we got to the 2
So
hits.
you ain't gonna just serve my man.
Kamigawa
it's not
took-
hits. They're called bombs.
They
bombs.
were fucking bombs because
The man was dead after. Like they're not gonna say it. He was dead.
I think he killed him.
he retired him from life. But anyway, to train, he took
He went to sleep.
a huge log and put it like buried it like not even halfway into a hill, long ways, and then spent all night punching that log into the hill. By the time the next morning come around and someone was walking by, they saw the fucking log and it was inside the fucking hill.
It was like somebody with a
Like
big
up
ass
to the
hammer.
brim.
Like somebody with a big ass hammer.
Like
just
who the
shoved
fuck
a nail
did
in.
this?
That was wild.
But yeah, he hit him so hard that he shattered all his ribs, left imprints of his fists on the dude's
Permanent
body
tattoos.
while while shattering his own. That's the reason he had to stop fighting and he opened up the gym.
Yeah, he broke that fella. He broke that fella in half. That was ridiculous.
That's one really cool thing about, like, what was a cool thing about that fight, plus, like, the Speedstar fight, was they kind of get you inside the mind of the fighter. You know, like with Speedstar.
Hold on. Every fight they get.
Well, still, it's a good example. It's like with
except Aoki and Kimura.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck Aoki's thinking.
You get inside of
Anyway,
head all the time.
Anyway,
Kimura, though, I don't know. I feel like
whoa.
if we put the top 4 guys in Kamigawa's gym, it's Takamura, it's Ippo, it's Aoki, and it's Kimura. I feel like that's the top 4. That's because Kimura, I think he's ass. He's a decent fighter for his weight class.
You can't beat him.
I couldn't beat him. Did you beat him?
No.
He beat you with that frog punch.
I didn't say Aoki. I said Kimura.
Same dude.
I like Aoki better. I like
Kimura because he don't need a special move. Just good, solid boxing.
Right.
So a draw.
You just wish you would have won that Masha before.
I wish
you would have too, because I thought, okay,
fought hard for that shit.
He was trying for a knockout punch, and he thought he had the knockout power.
That was the one where he said he'd quit boxing if he failed, right?
He never did.
He did for a while, but he come back. Like, he come back to the gym all fucking raggedy, and everybody's like, what the fuck happened to you? You would take me back. But anyway, what I was saying earlier was the show's really good at putting you in the fighter's shoes, right? Like with the Speedstar episode where Ippo had one eye swollen shut and the dude would go into his blind spot. So the way they animated it was he was alone in the ring. He was alone in a dark room where he couldn't see, and he was just throwing fists out into the wind, right? Well, not fists. He threw one and fucking landed it.
Second one, actually.
Yeah.
Well, the second time around, the first time it showed it, like what he was trying to do. The second time it showed you what Ippo was experiencing. Another good time was with Takamura against Brian Hupp when his eyes were filled with blood and he couldn't see nothing, so he just kept swinging. Knocked his ass out, and Kamigawa had to get inside the ring to stop him.
Because he went wild man on that.
That was a really good visual.
It was an actual animal man versus a fake animal man.
That was Brian Hawk versus Takamura. You put a real animal pretending to be a man in the ring with a man pretending to be an animal. Because, like, y'all remember that shit where, like, Takamura just went unconscious and was just, what the fuck? What did y'all put me in the ring with? Like, why is he growling? What? Someone fucked up his haircut.
I want that motherfucker just die. Oh my god, yeah. Takamura, I felt like I never was afraid he was gonna lose a fight. I used to get worried about Ippo all the time because Ippo takes beatings worse than Rocky.
Yeah,
Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone. He's always gonna win except those 3 fights.
except for Date.
Except for Date, he beat everybody else in the show.
Yeah, he did.
It's just Date.
Even the killer guy. At the very end.
And like even Date, I was like, how's Ippo gonna pull this one off? Like I had expected it, at that point. But it was better writing that he got his ass cut.
Because didn't he try to do a special punch against Date? Because Date had the heart punch,
Right.
and I think they were trying to teach him something before he fought Date.
It wasn't the Gazelle. It wasn't the Gazelle, and it wasn't the.
It might have been the Gazelle punch.
He already had the Gazelle punch by the time he got to Date. The Gazelle punch helped drag him to Date. That got him up there to Date, but there was something else he was trying to learn on the way to Date, but it didn't work.
It didn't stick.
It either didn't stick or it didn't work, and Date was just better.
Yeah, Date, out and out, Date was still a damn a better boxer than Ippo was at that point.
Well, yeah, he was a veteran at that point. That's what we were talking about earlier. You
can still be a veteran and a new guy can still knock you the fuck out.
No, it's true.
It's true, but that's what they were showing was like I love this show. Like it shows you that just because Ippo can hit really hard and he's got his timing down, he's got techniques down, there's always going to be someone better out there.
Yeah.
Like he's not going in like let me rise through every single rank, like Takamura is, because Takamura is the protagonist of this anime. Ippo's just a side character.
Ippo's like his little Pokemon.
I like how the anime, the whole anime in general, has life in it. Like how am I saying is like you see the times changing.
Right,
How
Ippo growing and
Ippo
that stuff like that.
grew. Even the whole town grew. Like you saw how he went from meeting Takamura to jogging the same path every day to helping his mom again because she was getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He had to quit for a while, yeah.
He had to quit for a while, came back.
Quick side note. Can we talk about how I know I can talk about Takamura. Can we talk about how the guy who stopped Ippo from getting bullied is the bully of the gym?
I mean, yeah.
Hey,
Straight up,
hold on.
100%.
I'm sorry to say this, but Takamura is just the big brother to all of them.
He is the big brother, but he's a bully.
Yeah.
He is 100% a bully.
Hey, like he said,
Like with like when he they did the arm wrestling because Ippo, Aoki, Kimura and Takamura, or Ippo. It was Ippo, Takamura, Aoki and Kimura were supposed to arm wrestle for Ippo to call Kumi, right, to ask her out on a date. And Ippo was jacked as fuck, and he fucking beat Aoki and Kimura back to back. And I don't even think I think Kimura put up a fight, but Aoki just got smashed.
No, I think Aoki actually hit the fight.
So Takamura is like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. And he puts his arm down, and Ippo's got him for a minute, but then Takamura just puts him through the table that they're using.
Yep. I'm gonna call that damn girl. Punk.
Exactly.
still
Because he has his back.
And he was still a fucking bitch. He never got that girl in the whole anime.
He didn't
He didn't need
smash,
to.
but like
He didn't need
they
to.
were like a couple at the end, weren't they?
No.
They wanted-
They're swooning.
She
but
wanted to be.
they're
She
still-
actually wanted to be.
They're
but
still working on it.
they're
He was
trying
still-
to. They're just too scared to say something to each
He
other.
was still a pussy.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid. Like, what was the one night that when they got drunk? And like he was supposed
Yeah,
to
he
say
was
something.
trying. She passed out.
She passed out. I was
He
like,
said it.
Yeah,
I was
he
so
did
proud
say
of him.
it.
I was like, go ahead, eat. Oh, she fell asleep on you, bruh. He still had his chance. I don't know why he didn't take the chance.
He
Again.
still got.
He should have woke her ass up. Hey, bitch, I was saying
saying
something.
something to you.
I like how he was a boxer and a man at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just he was a boxer and he was still a shut-in. Like he actually got confidence from boxing.
Oh,
he
yeah.
didn't take the boxing and become a bully like the bullies.
Right, he didn't use his power to get
power
comes great responsibility.
Hey, you gotta stop saying that you're gonna die.
Uncle Ben, no!
That ready to done in 10 minutes.
Shut up. But you're right. It's like even when like he got confident, he knew his ability. He never threw it around. He never pulled his dick out and hit people with it.
But he could.
He could.
Ippo could.
He could.
Ippo had a sledgehammer.
He could.
That boy.
In more ways than one. And that shit hurt Takamura. That's the only dub Ippo's ever gotten on Takamura is just the, hey Ippo, how about you just whip? Aww.
I like how y'all call Takamura the bully because like one of the first things he said when Ippo first gets accepted to the gym, as he tells Aoki and Kimura like you're both my juniors. Shit, everybody in this gym is my junior. You're my runner. Go get my stuff. And they was like, it's not fair. You just want to keep Ippo as your runner. And he's like, fuck that. You're all my runners. Go get it. I like that about like that shows like how much of a bully and a big brother he really is to those guys. And like I mean, he meant it a little bit.
So I gotta ask you guys, did you like Barf Michi as a friend or as a fighter?
I didn't like Barf Michi.
You didn't like him at all?
I liked Itagaki a lot better.
Yes, Itagaki was a better fighter completely.
Yeah.
But
I just didn't like Barf Michi. Like it's like we already have a scary shut-in kid. It's called Ippo. I don't need another one.
Yeah. Well, that was another. Was it? Because Barf
me.
Michi was a we don't even know his real name. Barf Michi was.
Steve's checking his notes to see if he wrote
Barf
his
Michi,
name
isn't
down.
it?
I wrote it as Barf Michi, but it's No Michi Yamada.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
right.
so Barf Michi, right?
Yamada.
But the reason he got the nickname, guys, was because he did the running and then puked his guts out on top of
He's the only one who came back.
Yes,
From his first day of road work, they had an ass of kids trying to sign up for the gym after, was it Takamura won the championship?
No, they were there for
or
Ippo.
after Ippo won the championship.
I think Ippo and Takamura had at least belts.
It was like the night of the champions. It was after that pay-per-view.
I think so.
The night of the champions.
Because they were because Barf Michi was Ippo's fan for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Had
Which
a picture of him in his wallet and
maybe it
everything.
was after Takamura got any fucking way. So they had a big group of fans come to the gym and try out. So they were like, okay, fine, go run this route.
Road work.
We'll see you when you get back. And everybody quit
Except Barf Michi.
except for Barf Michi.
No Michi Yamada. He came back and threw up all
Threw
over
up and stayed around too,
I would
and learned.
and learned. They kept him. They kept him on the squad. I mean, he was impressive for that, but like, I feel like he was boxing for all the wrong reasons. That's why I didn't like him. I feel like he was boxing just to be like somebody else.
It was being a family.
And it's like you're not being who you are.
No, when he shaved his head and looked mean Michi.
Then he became what he wanted to be, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
That dude looked fucking evil.
No one knew who the fuck he was until Barf Michi was like, it's me.
Yeah, I mean, he was like beefing with Ippo so hard too, and it was like, bro, the fuck is this dude over here?
I think,
Well, that's the thing. Is like he decided he
wanted,
wanted to be his own thing.
He wanted to prove himself to his
But like nobody asked him for that. Like I feel like his whole
The anime asked for that.
the
manga asked for that.
no. I'm saying like I feel like nobody asked him to prove himself to Ippo. I feel like nobody asked him to be an Ippo meat man. I feel like I feel like he got his ass whooped on his own accord. Like he was like,
He got his ass up on his own accord.
you know, he was just like, I'm gonna go get my ass whooped. You know, and even in the middle of the fight, like where he kind of bucked up a little bit finally and made Ippo fight him for real. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even like that fight.
Do you guys believe that Miyata really is Ippo's
Sasuke?
Sasuke?
No.
Ippo's
I think Miyata is. I think Miyata is Ippo's swing set.
the start of everything.
So obviously, like Ippo came to the gym, he started training, and then Miyata was, the kid around
He was
the gym. He was the prodigy in the gym.
The other 16-year-old kid in the gym.
But like he also but mind you, this 16-year-old kid had a father who was a boxer who has been training him and conditioning him.
Mm-hmm.
Some beginner off the street, some fishing boy, come into the gym and then actually made him.
Fishing.
That's
boy.
how Miyata
Well, that's how
felt about it.
Miyata felt about it.
That's how he felt about
Like
that shit.
some random kid off the street come into the gym and then actually threw him off his game, his quote unquote perfect game he had to do. So he had to leave. Ippo kicked it, not kicked him out the gym, but he left to fight Ippo again because they had the
And it
the
never
spar.
happened.
They had the spar. They had they had back to back. It was the first sparring session when he showed up. Then the second one when
Operation Turtle.
Whoa.
That was the first one. The second one was Operation Turtle, and then he came with the uppercut.
The second one was Operation Tease Me. Operation Tease Me. Because Ippo said it was a stupid name. And Kawagawa said, no, we'll change the name later. But the first one was Operation Turtle. My favorite fight is kind of a short and sweet one. I'm a real big fan of the fight he had with the other fisherman's son. How do you say his name? Iwa Shimabukuro. Shimabukuro is how I'm going to try that. His nickname.
Aquaman.
His nickname is Ryukyu, the Ryukyu Warrior. He, like I said, is also another child of a seafaring fellow.
He looked like Ippo.
He looks like
He looks like
That's
Ippo.
actually something that I have here.
Like his cousin.
Yeah, almost a little bit. He's another short, stocky fighter, much like Ippo, except he's shorter. And this is a fighter who believes that he can take anybody down to the deep. And what he means by that, and it's actually one of those boxing terminologies, is essentially when you slow somebody all the way down, you beat their body in. You just wear them out to where they can't even breathe properly.
I did like how they kind of within the I'll let you get back. How in the fight he was falling into the ring.
The sea.
Right.
It was kind of like slowing him down, and he couldn't really, as you were saying,
Right.
breathe. Continue on, sorry.
And that little feller, I think wasn't he the one who was able to stop the Dempsey roll for a certain time period?
Yes, because he would. I think he'd walk in.
Because he'd walk in because he was so short. I mean, eventually Ippo figured out how to defeat this guy. You know, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it because that was a real cool victory over Ippo had over that guy. It was a real fight. It was a slugfest, and this guy really did give a beating to Ippo. Just another reason why Ippo deserves to be champion, in my opinion, over an ass cutting like that. That is my fight, the one with the other Sea King, the Ryukyu Warrior.
You know any things about that favorite fight, Matthew, of his? With the Sea King? You call it the Ryukyu Warrior?
Again, what I was saying earlier was like what y'all were saying when he did bring him down to the deep was like they showed you what he saw about, you know, they're down in the base of the ocean. There's fish and shit around us and bubbles of air and shit like that. But then like once Ippo realized, hey, this isn't the ocean. This is a boxing ring. This is my house. It transformed back into a boxing ring, and it let him free up from what he was like under the control of this guy, getting back into his fighting spirit.
To me, it was like, yes, his fighting spirit was kind of dampened down because the man was kind of stopping his Dempsey roll. He didn't really know what to do. He was kind of off base, didn't have his rhythm with him. So he did kind of get pulled to the deep. Then he learned, hey, man, I can hang with this.
I can hang.
This ain't nothing to me. And he did win, but I'm not going to say he won by a lot.
Nah, I mean...
It was actually a very close fight comparable to him fighting that kind of...
oh, yeah.
I wouldn't call him a low level, but I feel like he wasn't on Ippo's level. He just... Ippo kind of got nervous, and he didn't know what the fuck to do after the Dempsey roll.
I feel like they were certainly on each other's level. I just feel like Ippo came out on top. Ippo was the better man this time.
There's a lot of like that, though. Because there's some fights where Ippo has the dude by a lot, and then there's in the middle, and then... There's some that have...
Usually, Ippo's finishes is what stops a motherfucker from coming back for round two for a second fight. Usually, the way Ippo finishes
the
the
body
fight.
blow, the uppercut, and that's his two biggest ones because you see people's body shift. Body blow hits.
I mean, the way that kid hits. Once he is able to unleash on you, especially something like a Dempsey roll, not very many people want to come back. That's why we never see Mr. Ryukyu Warrior again. He doesn't go, well, I'm still the better Sea King. Nah, he shut the fuck up. He shut the fuck up.
MattMatt, what's your favorite fight of Ippo?
Probably the Speed Star. Really. Like, it's just... It was some guy that was being trained by Date, right? Which is what Ippo was kind of aiming towards as it was at the time. Right? Because, like, everyone had their stake in this. It wasn't just like...
I'm going to stop you right there. No, he didn't fight. He wasn't trained by Date. You're thinking about the other guy that had the corkscrew punch after.
He had a sparring match with Date. A tune-up, so to speak.
The Speed Star had a tune-up match with Date, and he couldn't touch him.
It was a sparring match, not a tune-up.
But that was after the Date fight with Ippo. He fought the dude that was underneath Date with the corkscrew punch.
Right.
And then he fought Speed Star.
The Date wannabe.
No, I'm messing up. It was the Date wannabe, then Date. But he fought...
It was Speed Star, the wannabe, and Date. Right. Okay, I mean, not in that particular order, but Matthew, please continue, sir.
Sorry.
It's a very textbook match for Ippo. He goes in with a strategy. His strategy gets fucking massacred almost immediately, and he has to get his ass beat for basically 3 fucking rounds before he figures out what to do again. But it shows, like, besides, he's got heart, he's got will, it's like he's a tough motherfucker for taking all these hits and dishing them right. Like, because the Speed Star, when he would land hits on him, swole up his eye, everything like that, it was a barrage of punches. Mm-hmm. I think Ippo hit the guy solid, like, maybe 4 times. Yeah, for a knockout, and it wasn't even a. It was he got hit right when he was in by himself. He got the blind punch right, and then he got another punch, knocked the dude down, tried to hit him a 3rd time. Guy fell to the ground. He got back up, and they he tried to continue doing his thing and everything, but the guy's body wouldn't let him because he was scared. Because he had his rhythm down and everything, and Ippo was just like, fuck that.
Yeah, just completely.
And then immediately just took everything he had and threw it out the fucking window. Guy couldn't do anything. Like he was missing counter punches. His footwork was off. He tried to use his footwork towards the end, but he couldn't even move his feet because it got so beat up.
Because Ippo showed him his power, and the man was out of his rhythm already after the blind knockdown.
It shows you his adaptability.
Yeah,
adaptability,
his training. Because I don't think that was purely just a fluke. Yes, the punches were a fluke, but the idea of swinging in this blind spot because the guy's probably going to be in your blind spot is not a bad idea to have.
Well, right. I mean, like we talked about earlier, it wasn't a fluke. One, Ippo measured the guy's footsteps away from him. He got the distance early before his eye was blinded. Then his eye was blinded and he figured out, okay, the motherfucker's in my blind spot. Then he figured out where at in his blind spot, like we talked about earlier.
He fell on
him. And he put all his math together. He did all his complex geometry to figure out how to hit the guy. Now, the first one was maybe a fluke. But that body blow, the next one, was absolute. Ippo 100% knew where that fucker was going to be.
That was a blind knockdown. He took that body blow and was like, yep, I don't want to fight this guy no more.
He took that body blow and then took another small barrage, and his body gave out. He quitted.
Steve.
Liquid Gold Steve.
What is your favorite fight, Sendo? What's your favorite fight?
Well, guys, even if you haven't seen Ippo, you gotta watch the Sendo fight.
True.
You can watch that by itself, all of it.
That's the Goku and Frieza fight right there.
Rocky of Naniwa.
No, this boxing ring is going to explode in 5 minutes.
It's the second one because the first fight, honestly, okay, the Sendo fight is like, to me, is like a two-part because the first one, it really didn't end. He literally had this, like the beginning of the fourth round never happened. That's what I say. And then when Ippo fought Date and lost and had to recuperate from the Date fight, he was getting, they were doing the, because Date dropped the title right after he beat Ippo.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to do not the rookie tournament, but it was like the Japanese King tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
And Sendo fought Volg first, and Sendo beat him. Ippo fought Scrubs. I don't even know who the fuck they were. All I know is that he learned the Dempsey roll in between that.
He fought the Speed Star right before Sendo fought Volg. It was the Speed Star.
It was Speed Star?
It was the Speed Star.
Then it was the TIE Fighter.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't not that same night. That was a little bit on later because the Sendo fight was the end of the first season, which was like episode 70.
But the Sendo versus Volg fight happened at the same time as the same night as the Speed Star because Ippo showed back up.
No,
to the arena, all beat the hell up from. He was rushing back from his fight to catch up and caught Sendo getting his ass handed to him.
The only reason that's not true is because the Volg and Sendo fight was for the vacated championship that Date had left.
That's what the whole tournament was about. That championship tournament was to decide who's going to get the belt. They did a small tournament for the featherweights.
Yeah, because Ippo wasn't in it. But that wasn't the same. No, that was later on. After
I don't think it really 100% matters. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think we are agreeing over tennis shoes. You know what I'm saying? Steve, was there any more about this? Because I don't think you really even got that.
Absolutely, yes.
100%.
So, yes. Me re-looking at this stuff, it was way after the Date fight.
Yeah, because Ippo sat out for a while.
Fight, like, this was way after because he learned the Dempsey roll forever after that. Mm-hmm. But him fighting Sendo the second time and them being both power infighters and just wanted to throw hands because Sendo literally told Ippo the first time, man, I was like, man, I just want to fight you. I just want to get better.
Man, that Dempsey roll straight out the gate. That should have ended the fight right there.
When he thudded him on the ground.
Right?
I was like, Sendo's over. And then Sendo got up and he was like, oh, whoa, you learned a new move.
Whoa, what the fuck was that?
Hey, that wasn't even Sendo no more.
Sendo got better because he even brought in the when he would throw you in the corner and he'd pummel you in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. But Ippo learned how to keep his legs, and he still beat him with the second Dempsey roll. That shit, the whole fight was the greatest thing. I think that's like a part 1, part 2. Sendo the first part and Sendo the second part. That was the greatest fucking fight.
A good thing about those two things is like when they first fought, they were
rookies.
They were rookies.
This was the first time they fought was the finals of the rookie tournament. The second time they fought, Volg and Sendo fought for the title, and Ippo did a few like challenger or getting up in the ranks.
Yeah, he was become the contender. And then because Sendo was the champion, and that's the thing. It was like you saw their development outside of.
Retired. That's when he retired to help his mom because his mom was
right.
You saw Ippo's like his development throughout everything that had happened because like hell the end of the fight was him putting his body blow, his gazelle punch into the Dempsey roll together. Like everything came to fruition in that one.
Yeah, that was like when he finally got his combo 100% right. He finally figured out his 10-hit combo.
Oh my God. There you go.
15,000 hit combo.
It was ridiculous.
The Dempsey roll is just devastating. Yeah, I've seen it.
Absolutely. I got a question to ask you guys. Did Ippo teach you guys anything about boxing? Did the show itself teach you guys anything about boxing maybe you didn't know prior?
It got me into watching boxing. It really did.
Liquid gold going on?
Liquid gold!
Liquid gold! So, for me... well, me? So, Crush, you and me have watched the UFC, and we've watched, like, fighting tournaments and stuff like that. So, we've watched a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about, like, jabs and hooks and perfect, like, pinpoint shifting in and out.
Right.
Hesitating little taps and stuff like that. Ippo, for me, it was kind of like how you said earlier. It's like it shows if someone's never watched boxing, they will give you like an introduction, like how to do it. They literally showed you how to do an uppercut, a jab, open your it's just a snap.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know is when you do throw a jab, your hands are open at the start and then they close as you extend your arm.
Right. Cut through the wind.
Yeah.
Cut through the wind. But, like, it was just insane how to watch Ippo from the beginning to when he was, like, at the very end when he fought the murdering guy that beat up everybody. That man
the anti
Dempsey. Like,
night.
Oh, my God.
Like, okay, compared to that Ippo to the end of Ippo, it's like, it's two different people.
Yeah.
Because, like, he started from the bottom. Like, he didn't know anything. And then you could see the technique, the dodging, the damn footwork, everything.
Working his way
in. Even the power stayed, but, like, he was just getting better all around. Like, he was, if you saw, like, a star and it was, like, the fucking, goddamn, I can't think of it. Fuck it. I don't care. It was, like, it's the overall. Like, you see the damn, like, everything is in power. Nothing's in like stamina
his
or
stats.
His stats was all in power and damn durability. That was it. That's all he had. Then he got some speed under him.
Got some skill. Got some technique. Learn how to put his guts into it for real. Because that was a big part for Ippo too. Was learning how to put his guts behind him instead of just being like here.
That was just the confidence. Like, that's how he became. That's how he got the girl. He fucking showed up to Takamura. Like
he wanted. Man. Another cool thing about the end of the Sendo fight is like when he's Sendo's like after the second Dempsey and he stands back up and he's trying to put his fist back up, the count's still going. He's sitting there wondering what it is to be strong. That's what he wanted this entire time. Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't there to win the belt. He wasn't there for the money. He wasn't there for it. He wanted to be strong.
Right. And for being strong for him wasn't like lifting weights.
Yeah,
like he meant that inner strength, that real strength.
Yeah, I don't think it was power to him. I think it was more just having inner strength.
I did that. That's what he wanted.
I gotta ask you guys a question though. How long were them counts? How long were them?
Oh, like 15 minutes.
15.
Come on, yo, seriously? Hold on. Some people went to the concession stand, came back, and was like, 4.
you had either Ippo or the opponent or whoever was fighting have an inner monologue a whole ass backstory.
Flashbacks.
And then
5,000 years ago when Chinese martial arts first started.
They came back to the fucking match. Then the guy said, 6! No, this wasn't.
Stop counting, I'm getting up.
They did a beautiful job of that too, I think, of showing how much can happen mentally while time is passing, just a 10-second count. They really also did a great job showing what it looks like to be wobbled. What it looks like to
the room spinning
when your vision is not blurry but it's wavy, and when the room is spinning, when your brain is just fucking rattling and you can't stop it.
Waking up after getting knocked the fuck out.
Waking up after being blasted.
It was a lot of things that you didn't want to see in boxing, and a lot of things you did want to see, like the winning and the losing part of boxing.
Yeah. You got a lot of what it is to be a boxer, I think. In that show. And I think they also did a really good job with some of the background information, like cutting weight, like how brutal that really is for some of the bigger guys. Right, like how brutal it really is for some of the bigger guys. Or that you can cut weight inappropriately or wrong, things like that. I also didn't know the particular terms of in fighter and out fighter. I always kind of just say they fight in close range or they fight in long range. I never actually knew the proper terms for it. And I didn't. This is probably one of the coolest pieces of information I got from it, was why boxing is called boxing. Is apparently when you make a fist, you're forming your hand into a box, and the tape around your fist helps tighten up that box, and then the glove around your hand is actually called a box. I didn't know that. Sounds like some old world stupidity when you say it out loud, but it's kind of interesting how much history there is just behind the name of boxing.
It's a fun fact.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've watched boxing my whole life and had never heard that before.
I still believe, and this is my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I still believe it's my top 5, and it's one of the first anime to kind of touch me. Like that shit was kind of heartfelt. That you kind of went through a whole thing with somebody. It wasn't just like every 1,000 isekais that show up or fucking 1,000 fucking harem animes. No, you got to know these people, and like you hurt with these people too.
And you really got to see why and how he became strong. Like the dedication he really put to it. Because I mean,
because like bullied to not bullied to.
Most of the training, especially in the beginning of the series, is it's really heavy of Ippo in the gym. You spend way more time with Ippo in the gym than you do in the ring.
Right.
You feel like you're out there learning how to box. Like you're at the fucking gym with him. Yeah. And they're like, Ippo, go do your road work. And when Ippo's excited to do it, you're excited to go do it. Because you're like, yeah, that's how you persevere through this tough shit. Because I'm not doing that for real, Ippo.
Honestly, I would want to see what they would run every day and see if I wanted to do it. Like,
I mean, that's...
Because you know they probably went through the whole town. Like they probably went the outskirts of town.
They ran the whole thing, man. I mean, those boys, good God, they were running. And I mean, they'd be casually running 10 million miles per hour having a conversation. You're just running like ain't nobody tired.
No, they did the spurts of speed and then slowing down. Spurts of speed, slow down.
Where Aoki's always left behind.
Guys and girls, this is the end of the Hajime No Ippo episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. I know we kind of sounded like 3 bumbling idiots sometimes, but this is why we like this anime so much. It was just a great fucking awesome anime that fucking brought us together and
fucking shit.
Very good and grounded story.
Great. Absolutely terrific. No, seriously though, it's a very good show.
Like us, find us, and share us at the Fighting Couch Potatoes.
Don't share us. That's kind of weird.
Share us to your grandma.
Share the show. Share our voices. Do not share us.
Yeah, if you got a grandma like me, share that shit, son.
Like, comment, subscribe. All right, you guys. Have a great night.
Good night.